Assalamualaikum to Dr. Hamriza. I will be representing my group. I am from Group 7 to present about our data science project. Well, the title for our data science project is Fertility Rate in Malaysia. Okay. Okay. Now, before we start, I'll introduce my group members first. First, there's me, Anastasia bin Faizli, and then there's Nabila, and then Asma Wahida, and Umi Natasha. Okay. Okay. So this is the contents of our presentation. First, we'll start with the introduction, and then we move on to the problem statement, the objective, and then the solution architect, where we will describe about how we handle the data, the pre-processing steps, and so on and so on, and then the technical tools that we use, and finally the output. Okay. Okay, now we'll start with the introduction. So, what is fertility rate? So, fertility rate refers to number of children born per woman in a country, of course. So, it plays a vital role in shaping the social, economic, and cultural landscape of a country in the future. And then, according to UN, which is the United Nations projections, by the year 2068, Malaysia will suffer a population collapse if fertility rate stays below 2.1. 2.1 is called the replacement level. This means that for two person, a man and a woman, they need to have more than two children in order to replace themselves after they die. Okay, so the current fertility rate in Malaysia is low. Therefore, the factors influencing fertility trends needs to be studied. So a solution also needs to be discovered to prevent future implications like the population collapse. Okay. So now we move on to the problem statement. So the declining fertility rate in Malaysia and the future implications. So the declining fertility rate will definitely impact the future. So we need to study this. Okay. Then the unclear understanding of the reasons for the declining fertility rate. So of course there are many factors, many factors, but so we need to explore these factors, but we need to see the relationship between economic variables such as median salary, labor force participation, education, and fertility rates. Okay, so this needs to be explored to see what causes the fertility rate drop in Malaysia. And then for the solution, we need to of course every problem have a solution. So fertility rate trends and family policies between Malaysia and other developed countries needs to be explored in order to see what can Malaysia do in order to minimize the impact of this problem. Okay, now to the objectives. So our objectives are pretty straightforward. Okay, first we want to visualize the fertility rate and other important data in Malaysia, and then to investigate reasons for Malaysia's declining fertility rate, and then to compare fertility trends and family policies in Sweden and Malaysia. The reason that Sweden was chosen will be explained later, but I'm sure it will be interesting. Okay. Okay, now we start with we move on to the data source. Okay, so all the data that we have gathered are from DOSM, which stands for Department of Statistics of Malaysia. So we chose to gather our data from DOSM because DOSM is famous, is known as one of the best and reliable place to get Malaysians data. Okay. Okay. Now for the solution architect. Okay. So gathering data from government websites like DOSM Okay, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. The data is also not very clean, so some modifications and pre-processing needs to be made on the data. Okay, so some of the steps that we make on the data. So we scale the data like the population data, which is quite big, like in millions. So we need to scale the data a little bit if we want to make a relationship with other variables. And then some data set are remade to 5 years interval. This is in order to provide a more clear relationship. And then the data sets with the empty values are filled with suitable values, like the average value, like backward filling, and so on. And then dimension tables such as year, country, gender are generated to create more meaningful relationships among all the tables. Okay, now for the technical tools, so we use Power BI, which is pretty famous for data visualization. It's pretty easy to use. Okay. And next, we use Excel, which is very amazing to be used for preprocessing, calculating values, calculating average, and so on and so on. Oh, and finally, we use Python, which is used for forecasting. Of course, this is optional to use Python. But uh, we decide to try. Okay. Okay. So now for the output. Okay. So, this figure, this represents the fertility rate in Malaysia from 1958 to 2070. So we use ARIMA algorithm in order to generate a prediction on how the fertility rate will be like until 2070. So as can be seen from this figure, the fertility rate will continue to decline until 2070, which is very alarming. Okay, now we'll demonstrate our Power BI dashboard. Okay, my name is Azazri, and now I'll present about our dashboard. So this is the first page of our dashboard. This is the Malaysia's demographic trends from 1950 to 2022. Okay, there are many things at our dashboard at this page. So I'll try to explain it as simple as possible. Okay. Now, here, this line graph represents the fertility rate from 1950 to 2000 and 70. Okay, so you might ask, okay, how do you get the until 2070? But it's currently now 2023. Okay, so this is the data that we have forecasted using Python before, and then we plug it into this graph. So, as can be seen here, during 1958, Malaysia's fertility rate was at the highest at 6.3. This means that each woman in Malaysia have around 6 children. And then it starts to decline, and then until, as can be seen here, currently, our fertility rate at 2023 is 1.7, which is 20% below the replacement level, which is 2.1. Okay, so this is pretty alarming. Okay, so this graph here, represents the total population of Malaysia from 1950 until 2100. Okay, so this data is not made by us. This data we have gathered from United Nations website, where they project the population number from until 2100. So, as can be seen here, even though the fertility rate is dropping, but the population rate is still rising until now. Well, this can be explained due to the death rate being low, the toddler mortality rate being low, the maternity mortality ratio being low, and the crude birth rate. Okay, and not the crude birth rate. Okay, this is because less people are dying, so the population will increase. Less babies are dying, so so more babies will grow to make more babies. Okay, the maternal mortality ratio is low, so women are more encouraged to have more babies. So this can be explained why the population number is is currently steadily rising. But according to the UN data, by 2068 here, the population number will start to decline. It will peak here and then it will start to decline and decline and decline. And if this and if the fertility rate is not fixed, it's not there's no solution for this problem, then eventually Malaysia will extinct. Pretty scary, right? Okay, now we move on to the factors impacting fertility rate. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have many data sets here. Each are from Kaggle. Okay, I'll close this first. We have male data sets and then we have female data sets. Okay, so I think I'll first start with the female data set. Okay, so as can be seen here, these are the relationship between the labor population and the fertility rate. So as can be seen here, we cannot see this very clearly as there are many outliers here. So we have transformed the data to be of in interval of every 5 years, as can be seen here. Okay, so we can see that there is a clear and almost linear relationship between the total fertility rate and the labor population in every 5 years. So this means that, as can be seen here, as the labor population increases, the fertility rate starts to drop. Here, and then okay, so we can conclude that as more people begin to work, the fertility rate will start to drop. Okay, there are many reasons why this is happening. Probably because they have less time to take care of children. The maternity leave is not enough. They focus more on their career instead. Women focus more on their career instead of thinking of making babies. There are many reasons why this can be explained. And then we also thought that the median age at first marriage is a significant impact on the factors impacting fertility rate. So as we can see here, this is the median age at first marriage from 1985 until 2020. So the total number of so the median age at first marriage is increasing, and here we make a scatter plot to see the relationship between the median age at first marriage and the fertility rate. So the relationship is very strong here. It's almost linear. As can be seen here, the fertility rate starts to drop as the median age of at first marriage increases. Okay, this can be there are many explanations for this. This maybe okay. As women grow older, they 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 don't have they don't have a lot of energy to take care of small children, especially when they have more than two children. Where it is very taxing for them. The men will also suffer that problem as they get older. And I think, okay, now we can move on to the third factors impacting the fertility rate. Okay, okay. I don't really like to say that this impacts fertility rate, but it is the truth. As the number of students increases, number of university students increases, the fertility rate will start to drop. Why? Okay, let's see here. The number of university students increases, uh, and as the number of students increases, well, students almost all students will not will 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 use their youth around 18 years old until 24 or 25 years old in their studies. So this will increases their age at for marriage. Okay, and then as they get after they have completed their studies, of course they will continue working. They need to pay for their debts. There are many reasons why. So the number of universities, so the education, the number of university students have causes an increase in labor force population, and an increase in labor force population have reduced the fertility rate. Okay, so this is for the female. For the male, the data set is pretty similar. The result is pretty similar. As men get more, as more men get are working, the fertility rate drops. As the median age has also increased, and this have caused the fertility rate to drop. And then as number of university students increases, the labor force population increases. Okay, now we move on to the median salary. Okay, uh, this the Malaysia's median salary from 1970 to 2022. So as can see here, the the this is part of the diagnostic probability, that diagnostic analytics, because as can be seen here, as median salary increases, there are more people going to the urban, migrating to the urban areas, and the population at the urban areas increases. uh, apa nama ni, states like like Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Penang, Johor can be considered as urban states. So and as median salary increases, the population at the urban areas increases, as can be seen here, and the population at rural area decreases. Okay, why? Why, you might ask? Okay, if a family make are married and lived uh, at the city, the house is very limited. The house, like condo, I think can house around 4 people at most. And once they have bought that house, they can no longer starts to open to buy another house, as that will be not financially good, in our opinion. So and also, as you can see here, the median salary in KL is increases, so the population is also high here. uh, okay, and then we move on to the final page, which is the population, which is the prescriptive analytics. Okay, okay, this is optional, right? So we tried our best to find a solution for this problem. So we have two types of data sets here. We'll start with the Sweden first. So Sweden, even though the fertility rate is dropping, uh, the the but it doesn't have that much of a drop compared to Malaysia. As can be seen here for Malaysia,
here, the standard deviation is very high for the fertility rate. It's around 1.3, but Sweden's are only 0.38. This can also be seen with the standard deviation of the crude birth rate here. Here, okay, for Sweden it's around 1.53, and for Malaysia it's around 8, which means that Malaysia have the change is very high, is very big in Malaysia compared to Sweden's. Well, the reason why we chose Sweden is because we cannot compare Malaysia with countries that are not yet developed, like maybe like the Middle Eastern countries like Afghanistan, which have a fertility rate of 6, I guess, which is high, but they are not a developed country. So we need to look at the developed countries with the good fertility rate, like Sweden here. Okay, so how how can Sweden get this make this get this result? We think that the number the weeks for the maternity leave plays a crucial impact. Okay, this is because, as can be seen here, the maternity leave for Sweden until now is 65 weeks. So that is really high. It starts it is very high from from the 80s here until the 2023, which is 65 weeks. 65 weeks is a lot compared to Malaysia. Now let's see Malaysia's. Malaysia's only have 14 weeks at 2023. 14 weeks compared to 65 weeks. Hmm. Okay. Why though? Why do we need to have a high number of maternity leave? Okay, this can be explained. This is because after a mother uh apa nama ni, gets birth to a child, they will need to they will need a lot of time to spend with their newborn baby. The baby needs to be taken care of. The mother also needs to be taken care of. So sorry. So it is important to have a suitable number of a suitable length of maternity leave and paternity leave. Okay, as can be seen here for this Malaysia too. Malaysia have only um, uh, approved a new policy that a father will get 1 week of paternity leave once a new children is born from the mothers, as compared to Sweden, which they have around 14 weeks for time for the father after the mother after his wife has produced a baby. This is crucial, especially for the early stages of the baby being born. This is because the mother will be maybe emotional at a stage. The baby needs to be given a lot of attention during that critical stage, and many more factors. So we propose that the government should try try to at least try to tweak the length of the parental leave at Malaysia to be a little bit higher, to see how it will impact the fertility rate at Malaysia. Okay, thank you.